Merry Christmas, everybody. Hello, my friends. It's been quite some time since I do a one of my commentaries when there is nothing that I have to do because I'm not a reviewer. But anyway, I have here in front of me, as you can see, this is the New Line Platinum Series, the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. This was released back in 1998, I think 1999. It has from Nightmare on Elm Street, the first movie, till Wes Craven's New Nightmare. There it is. This collection, I bought it because there is another collection which was released this year, 2010. It even includes Freddy vs. Jason, but unfortunately, I don't know. For me, this is a higher quality collection. I bought it a couple of months ago, brand new. This is a better collection. I don't know, for some reason the packaging's different, and it has Robert Englund all over. The new collection, there is the main man. The new collection has Jackie Earl Haley. I don't know how do you pronounce that, if it is Early or Earl Haley, which I think, in my personal opinion, Jackie Earl Haley, he did a great job as Freddy Krueger. Even though the new movie wasn't as good as many people were expecting, because I think that the new Nightmare on Elm Street movie borrowed too heavily. It mirrored too much the first movie. But putting that aside, the interpretation of the Freddy Krueger character by Jackie Earl Haley was great. In my opinion, it was great. Though Robert Englund is, and will be, Freddy Krueger. I mean, this is such a class act person. I have read and I have heard that this is a man who, even though he has reached this top of how can I say this level of notoriety, he is always kind enough to talk to his fans, especially children. That's what I've heard and I have read, and I have seen the interviews, and he seems to be a very down-to-earth person. Very talented actor, this man over here. Well, I'm not making a review of the collection. I just would like to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just that I love it. I love the series. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know. I was, let's say, in third grade. I didn't know what Nightmare on Elm Street was, because I do not live in the States, and since our primary language is Spanish, Nightmare on Elm Street was translated to, in some cases, Pesadilla en la calle del infierno, or Nightmare on Hell Street, which is fittingly enough, but it is not the real name for the series. And sometimes it was just called Pesadilla en la calle Elm, or Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, back to third grade. I was in third grade. And I saw a sticker on the cover, or front cover, of one of my classmates' notebook. I saw this man with a hat terribly burned and his signature glove. It was not this picture, it was another one. And I asked my friend, "Who is that?" He said, "That is Freddy Krueger." And I said, "Freddy Krueger?" He said, "Yeah, Freddy Krueger." Well, from that point on, I had the name and the character stuck in my mind. Back then, I have always been a huge fan of horror movies, but I remember that the movies that were popular for me back then, or the ones that I was always, expecting to see on TV were Friday the 13th because of Jason, and Return of the Living Dead movies, zombie movies, and classic horror movies. Anyway, look just by what I told you, the impact that this character and other characters such as Jason had upon little children. I didn't know what Nightmare on Elm Street was. I didn't know anything about what nowadays are called, at least in the United States, slasher films. But I was immediately captivated by the character. I believe and I suspect that neither the producers nor the actors nor whomever, I'm sorry, I do not believe that they suspected at all or guessed or imagined the impact that these characters would have had, upon children. I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street was a horror movie, but the character itself attracted kids. I mean, kids were fascinated by Freddy Krueger. Kids were fascinated by Jason Voorhees. Anyway, as I said, this is a commentary on the series which I love. This is not necessarily a review of this box set. But now that we're here, let's see what does it bring. This is the booklet that comes with the collection. Here we see Freddy Krueger from Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And on the back we see the now defunct New Line Cinemas logo, which was absorbed by Warner Brothers. Corporations merging. But that's another story. This is not business here. This is entertainment. Here he is, the man himself, Freddy Krueger. A Nightmare on Elm Street, the Bloodbath. Oh yes. Here we have Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a classic scene. We have here Freddy coming through the roof, or trying to come through the roof. Here we see Heather Langenkamp, or Nancy. This is a brief overview of Nightmare on Elm Street 1, or what it was. Here we have Freddy Krueger. A picture there. This is Johnny Depp when he debuted. Oh yes, we have here, let's see, I think, yeah, Wes Craven. And this is Amanda Weiss, I think, or Weiss, I don't know how do you pronounce it. There's Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was hugely criticized because of its supposed gay undertone. And also because of Freddy Krueger's fingernails are actually knives. Here you have no glove. To put it this way, Nightmare on Elm Street was not conceived as a series. Nightmare on Elm Street was wrapped up in a way that not necessarily it needed to have a sequel. But you know Hollywood. Hollywood is a money-making machine. If I go out there and I slip, and if when I slip I did it in a funny way or an unusual way, right away they're going to be making CDs out of that, they're going to be making t-shirts out of that, movies out of that, books out of that, books out of that, so far, so forth, so on. Anyway, the studio decided to make a sequel, that is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and the movie was highly criticized because of its supposedly gay undertone. I have had this collection for quite some time now, for a few months, and I haven't watched it because this is the least favorite of the Elm Street movies, or my least favorite. Not because of the gay undertone, because I don't care. I just want to, watch the movie, have a blast, and see Freddy Krueger. But because for some reason, the beginning of the movie is great, the ending is great, but the middle, I don't know. It was very bland. Let me make a stop here and then go to part 2.